Called you because the hand's been up for 5 minutes. Just don't ask me Champions League questions, please.
Okay, fine. We'll pass on that. I think it's
No.
Europa League anyway today.
You can ask me whatever you want. Ask me Europa League. Let's go. Let's kick it off. Let's kick it off.
Well, I won't have too many more opportunities since season's coming close to an end. Coach, 3 games left. What's sort of the goal for the next 3 games for you and the team? What do you like to see from the team? And you obviously have 2 more home games left. Is there any sort of goals or progress you're expecting
Jim,
to see?
to finish strong, man. We fight and we compete and we play all the way to the end. And, as long as we have games in front of us, we need to play, and we're professionals and we need to do our job. We have 2 home games. Regardless of what's happened, I think it's super important. And I've stressed this to the team, is to finish strong at home, to leave whatever it is, the last game, the last 2 games, just a good picture in the end of the season. I know it hasn't been, a season with a lot of great moments throughout of it. There's been a lot of close games, a lot of games that, that we just, disappointing for all of us and for the fans. So I think it's just important, to do whatever we can to finish on a positive note, to leave a good picture, especially we're playing at home, to compete hard, to leave everything on the field, to bring that intensity, energy, and commitment. That's non-negotiable. I mean, that for me shouldn't even have to be telling you guys this, or to the players, and to finish as strong as we possibly can. I think that's the message. It's the most important thing. There's nothing else. As long as we have games, we're professionals, and we need to, never forget how fortunate and lucky we are to be doing what we love doing, and we have to show that when we step on the field competing, especially here at home.
Well said. I'll see you guys on Saturday.
No Europa League questions? Come on, buddy.
Well, who do you got today? Any interesting matchups?
I don't know. You tell me. You throw it out there, and I'll tell you. You throw it out there.
I mean, I think I'm thrown off, first of all, that Europa League's on a Wednesday, not on a Thursday. I'm so used to the old schedule now.
I know.
Do you like, Coach, this new setup for the Champions League and everything?
I don't know. It's just I don't. And I just think at some point it's like, I mean, I always... For me, it's just so many games, high-level games for these players. It's just it's amazing what they expect out of the players, with especially the guys that are playing at the highest levels with league play, and then Champions League, and then guys have national team duty. It's just so much, so many games. It's just amazing for me when and that's the thing, when you look at these top players, their ability to perform at the highest level every game. It's just amazing. But at some point, you have to think about recovery. You have to think about injuries. You have to think about how that impacts the quality of the game. I think that's the most important thing. We should never forget that. I think it's getting a little bit out of hand.
I agree with you. That's well said, actually. Perfect. Great note to end on. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Joe Chats from On Tap Sportsnet.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Frank. How you doing today?
Joe, I'm great. Just letting you know the Jim was on with the hand raised 5 minutes before the call, so you're a little behind schedule, man.
That's A+ work. I applaud it. Curious, just going against Toronto this weekend. Obviously, the team had a lot of success in that first matchup, but they're a team that struggles at times, but still finds a way to get quality. Obviously, they're playing tonight. Just curious, what do you think is going to be tough about dealing with Toronto on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, right off the bat, they have Bernardeschi. I think in transition, when you can isolate him in 1v1 situations, it's really extremely difficult to contain. He's an inverted winger, likes to come in on his left foot. Evan Senior plays. I mean, obviously, they have the national team players back with Osorio. So in the build-up, they're a good team. They want to move the ball around. They're a possession team. And then, obviously, they're in transition moments where they can isolate Bernardeschi. They have some quality players in moments where they can have an impact in 1v1 situations, and players that can impact the game, in moments where you don't expect them to. They have that kind of quality. So we played them the first game. Obviously, the first half was a little bit slow for us. And then, I think that we had some goals in key moments, and I think that's the key thing, I think, in that matchup. And then we were able to control the game. We were good in possession, and then we picked our moments, and then we finished our chances. So they play tonight against Vancouver. The Cup final, we'll be watching that. And, we're preparing. The good thing for us, I think, slowly now, it's getting Hugo back in training this week. I think that's been a big plus for us the last couple of days. It's great to have him in training. Rafa's been training. He trained today, so hopefully no setbacks. Still a couple guys that are out, but at least to get some of those veteran guys, with the leadership of Rafa, and then a guy with Hugo that he's such a potent striker and a threat. It's good to have him with us.
Understood. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you. Next we'll go to Tim Hotsey, Men in Red 97.
Hi, Frank.
Hey.
Your point about managing games and minutes, I think, is really well taken. And one of the things, Toronto has the Canadian Championship match tonight.
Yeah.
Obviously, some big names that sort of change the way the team plays on that squad.
Definitely.
With the CONCACAF spot on the line, I'm wondering if your approach to the game changes based on who it looks like plays, who goes 90 tonight, so who may be available or rotated on Saturday for them.
Yeah, look, I think the first game they were missing also a couple players, but they rested Bernardeschi and Cine. They didn't start the last game, so I assume that they will put their best foot forward to tonight. That's for sure. It's a final, so unless there's injuries, I don't foresee anything different. For us, I think the most important thing is just to assess to see how guys are and the healthy guys that we have, and I think that's still a little bit of a question mark, Tim. Gutman is still running on his own, so there's a question mark with him. Tehran is still not involved with us. That's a question mark with him. I think Rafa trained today, so with him with his ankle that he had issues. It's also how he's able to recover tomorrow and how he feels tomorrow. It's good having Hugo back. I talked about that, so that's a big plus for us because he's a guy that's such a threat with his movement and just being on the field. I think his ability to attract defenders frees up space for other guys, and he's such a threat for us in the final third. So we're going to watch the game tomorrow, but I think the most important thing is just making sure and assessing how our guys are and putting the best guys that are informed for this game. We're playing at home. We need to come out with energy and intensity, Tim, and a commitment in this last home matches that I think that the players that step on have to do whatever it takes for the team to get the result. And I think for me, it's just assessing and putting the guys that are healthy and the guys that are in most form right now onto the pitch, and the guys that you know what you're going to get from for 90 minutes.
Great. And one other thing about championships, the U.S. Open Cup Finals also tonight.
Yeah.
I asked you before the season started when it wasn't clear whether the Fire first team would be able to participate, what your perspective was. I just wanted you to reflect a little bit. Obviously, Kansas City going for their possible fifth. It's a team that you once played for, so some history with you personally there, and what it means to you to be sort of like the team not having been able to participate and what you're watching tonight.
Yeah, I think for me, look, you look at the history of the club, and we were at one time king of the cups early on, and it's a tournament. It's a final within 5 games. So I always enjoy that tournament. I think it's a special tournament in the history of the club. I think this year, our MLS Next team participated. We put guys, I think to help early on into the games, and I think most MLS teams approach it obviously different. In early rounds, they use a lot of MLS Next players to participate in that. So I love the tournament, and then obviously it's huge in the history of the club. For Kansas City, I think it's a big moment for them. I think their season, they're out of the playoffs, so you have this one special moment that you can put everything into it and possibly can change the season for them with a victory. They could be the first team, I think, MLS team to 5. I think, if I'm right, I think with them, Seattle, Kansas City, us, we're at 4. So it's a special night for them, and like I said, it can change a whole season around for them. So I'm sure that in a difficult place in LAFC, they'll put everything into it. And it's a final; anything can happen. But it's a special tournament, one that's dear to my heart and to the special to the club.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Thank you. Jim, I see your hand is still raised. Do you have another question for Coach?
No, I'm good. I'll save it for Saturday.
All right, Jim. I'm giving you a high five already now, man.
Thanks, Coach. I'll give it to you in person on Saturday.
All right, buddy.
Joe?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, and then we have one more game together for the season, man. You know, might have to bring some wine and a glass of wine for everyone to drink in the last press conference.
There you go. It's going to be a special one.
Make sure it's a packed room.